Yeah, so we need to answer 3 more questions that will help us to form the ground or understand you better. So, as I'm talking to Narayana, Narayana was explaining me what cloud is. And yeah, I think with your understanding, you're not pretty clear on what cloud is, basically, but you know a feeling of it, right? I mean, the services that you see might be cloud is what you think, right? So that's fine. What is CRM in your words, Narayana?
So customer relationship management means the details of about the customer's contacts and all the details will be managed at some place, and we can have so in central location it will be there.
Okay. Okay. So it's like what I can say, posting customer details.
Yes.
So what do you think Salesforce is?
Salesforce.
In your words, so far you might have heard, because I'm going to explain you all 3 of them in detail, but I just want to see how much you know on them.
I cannot say anything, but just because just now I'm going to start it.
Right. So who suggested you Salesforce?
No, they're already in that same project. I told them I'm in Java background, but.
Okay. No. What I'm saying is, whoever suggested you Salesforce, they might have given you some knowledge about Salesforce also, that Salesforce is so-and-so product, and this is what doing in the market, and this might be hot. So if you learn it, you'll have a good care. Something, the discussion might have come about Salesforce, right? I'm just asking about it.
Maybe
so you cannot have a blank idea like Salesforce. At least you should have said Salesforce is some CRM related thing, right? Salesforce.
Yes.
No problem. So Harish, you tell me in your words, what do you think cloud is?
There are something that like say CRM and also task management, all those things are there in that. That's what I understand that in the Salesforce.
Yeah, Salesforce has got sales management also, right? CRM and sales management.
Yeah, and also task management.
SAP. You mean SAP, SAP?
No, task, TASK.
Task. Okay, task management. Yeah, that's right. You're right. Harish, your turn. What do you think cloud is?
Okay, cloud is basically it is a like some software company. They will be providing these software as a service, and actually cloud is basically they will be maintaining all your data, background, network, everything. We will be using their service, and then we won't be having any infrastructure at our company. Then we will be using their tools, and then we are developing our own application, and then we'll be using that application for the users.
Okay, example?
Example is the Salesforce is the best example.
Example, right? Good.
Yeah.
So have you experienced the Salesforce or cloud so far, anytime?
Maybe I'm experiencing maybe using the other websites, but I'm not sure is that the cloud or any other.
No. Yeah. So what do you think CRM is in your words?
Customer relational management. It's basically maintaining the relationship between a customer and the client. Client will be maintaining the relationship between the customers.
Customer and the company, right?
Yeah.
Maintain. Customer. Okay, fine. So what do you think Salesforce is?
Basically, Salesforce is a company. They are coming with the tools, platform. They are providing the platform for the cloud computing.
Platform for cloud computing. All right, that's good. So that's not entirely true what picture you both got. At the same time, that's not entirely wrong. You got really the things needed, tools needed for you to understand what the difference between all three of them. Let me be before we actually see what we are learning for the entire course. Okay, so how cloud, CRM, and Salesforce are related and how they are different also from each other is what we should first have a very clear idea about. So tomorrow, if someone asks us what is cloud, what is CRM, what is Salesforce, definitely a sharp answer is actually expected. Let's see. First, let's talk about cloud. Yes. So before we talk about cloud, okay, so yeah, today we were talking about cloud as a buzzword, but do you think it's actually a new technology which has come out? Let's examine. So in order to study that, we should start from something called very basic, computing. Computing. What is computing? It's an elementary word, right? Compute. Compute means interact with computers or interacting with machines, interacting with anything that is non-human. So computing is there from long time. Even calculators also, one way of machines like respond to your requirements. So computing here is not new. So people used to communicate with computers in a lot of different ways. So let's see what are those ways. Autonomous. Autonomous computing. What is that? It's a stand-alone computer where you install your software in it, a game or something at your workstation at home. So you want to play that game, you have to go back and play that. So there is no remote connection to it. Other one is client-server model. It's a quite famous model, client-server model. So far the enterprise level applications or methodologies are mostly driven by this model of computing, where there will be one powerful server located centrally and several clients or several small end computers are connected to it as clients, and employees start working on those clients, and customers form a big queue before them to get served for their customer needs. So all this is a process we've been examining from a long time. So client-server model is a very successful model. And apart from that, we got mainframes, the big machines which can do lots and lots of transactions in very short time. So is also one way you interact with machines. Okay, grid computing. Grid computing is what? Network of computers. A good example for grid computing is Unix or Linux systems, right? So where they formed such kind of systems by collaboration of several systems in the network, sharing the resource, also storage, performance, everything. Alright, so grid computing is also one good way that we interacted with computers. So we are now also. Others such as, see, I'm muting you all. So if you have a question, you can unmute or you can type in chat, okay, because I hear some noises. So everybody is muted except me. Okay, grid computing is also one way of computing that you interact with computers. The other way is not so worth mentioning, but peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is also a way that you interact. Nowadays, the torrents that you find, we are almost very used to them, torrents. So those help us, they don't help us actually, they increase the piracy. But still, that's also a way that you interact with computers. And utility. Utility is like, as per the usage. So you pay per usage. So utility is one way that you also, like internet cafes, help you interact with computers by paying per hour basis or per period basis. So that's also one way of computing. So these are all different ways of computing we see on a daily basis. But on the other side, there is also another way of computing. What is that? That is called, a need of looking into other computer, okay, where your computer is not that powerful, you cannot invest in such a huge hardware. So you want it at the same time, you cannot go directly to that computer always and execute the function. So you need some mechanism to interact with a machine that is connected, of course, to your network, but it's not near you. So that is called, people used to call different technologies. So network computing, or you can call it as remote desktop. You also use desktop sharing. Lot of names were given. So this works in the network where you have them, like in a LAN network, a LAN or a wide LAN network. You will find these present. So the access is limited. You also should be in the network, and the system that is getting shared also should be in the network. But what if the network gets bigger? That's what happened in 99, 98 when internet was widely accepted, HTTP protocol accepted by everybody. So today we are seeing each other's desktop very easily. You're seeing my desktop sitting at your comfort. So that is possible through HTTP protocol. So now when we are all connected through a World Wide Web, so the world of desktop sharing, remote desktop, network computing got evolved, with the technology, and got changed to something called cloud. Okay, so earlier we were calling it as desktop sharing, so it got evolved to something called cloud. There is nothing great difference. The thing is, this internet layer has changed a lot of things, a lot of words as well, terminology. So in cloud, what is it? Earlier, remote desktop means you are sharing the desktop and the others are able to see whatever you want to show in your desktop. Same thing in a World Wide Web. Your computer can be shared across everybody's in the network. So what you hit, you're going to hit with a request for the computer, and for handling that request there is a web server. Web server will pass the request to the internal server, and it will reply, and the reply is gone back to the client, shown in a browser. So if you want to display some information that is put on your computer, nothing but your website, a simple website where it has some about us page, it has some contact us form, it has got some services, portfolio, and all the static detail that it should contain, to describe about your company. So that is hosted on some computer, and that is actually retrieved when you hit the computer with a request. Okay, so that's a simple example, that somebody is hosting information online. Okay, so and that information will be online until unless that server is down for some reason. Okay, so the cloud is actually what is now is a way that you interact with computers, but this time it is through a browser. You don't need a sophisticated hardware or software. Just a browser and internet is enough for you to share. So what and all you can share online? You can share information online, right? You can share applications online. Okay, what and all? So you can share infrastructure also online. So you were just thinking like you've never experienced the cloud, or you might be experiencing, you don't know how you're doing it. So let me ask you one straight away question. Yeah, Narayanas, when did you first create your first email ID?
Yeah, 98.
Okay. Harish?
Yeah, about 10-15 years ago.
10-15 years ago. Now, did you at that time install any software to do so?
No.
No.
No. At the same time, today, do you require a laptop or a computer to access your email? Not necessary. A tab or a phone is also sufficient to do it. So what does that mean? Someone's means whatever, if you create a new, compose a new message, or if you delete a message, the actions are not taken in your computers or PCs, but they are taken place on a server that is remotely located somewhere else. Even we do not know the complexity of it. So that means you're functioning on something which you do not have. That is nothing but cloud. So indirectly, all these years, we were using cloud services only, but the name we were calling it as different. So that's one way you're computing with some server located at a different place, isn't it? So what and all we can see on cloud. Pretty much what and all we can see in other computing models can easily be seen here as well. No exceptions. So, I mean, no exceptions in the case like with a star mark. Conditions always apply, right? So security and all comes into picture when you're talking about it. So let's see what applications.
That means that means the cloud means something like which we interact in the interact.
Anything that you don't need a software and you don't need a specific hardware is all cloud. A cloud is the one which works with a browser and internet. That's all.
Okay.
Anything more than that is not a cloud. Like Cisco that you just or the GoToMeeting we're just using is not a cloud because you are bound to install some software. Okay. So Gmail services are cloud. Any browser dependent. So we have email services today, we have social networking today, which can be deployed on cloud. We have got e-commerce, you can purchase things online. You've got, what do you say, banking online, reservations online, management online, okay, tracking online. So a lot of things, name it, it is there. So you've got resource management, finance management, a lot of things. So why not CRM also? Customer relationship management. CRM. Managing the, excuse me for spellings, managing the relationships with customers. So this is what CRM means. I just reversed it, generally. Managing the relationship with customers is what a CRM is. So CRM is clearly not a software, right? So people are managing relationship with customers from long back. It's not about software they're talking about. They're talking about real people, right? And CRM is not any tool. So what is CRM? CRM is a subject, okay, or an industry, or you cannot call it industry, but it's a subject on its own. So MBA people, they learn about how to keep relationship with customers in different ways. So today, managing the relationship itself gives a lot of meaning. Why do we need to manage something? So is it really that necessity that you're managing a relationship? That means the relationships are unmanageable for some time if you think that way? Yes. Relationships in today's world are definitely unmanageable. See, if you've got two people or two friends for you always, and to remember their phone numbers, even if they have changed their phone numbers, is pretty easy. But you've got hundreds of friends and you cannot remember all those phone numbers of everybody, right? So you're going to store it in your mobile phone or somewhere so that you can easily track them whenever you need. So that's very important. So managing becomes necessary when things become more complex, first point. Second, huge in volume. Yes. So when things become huge in volume or complex in nature, then it is necessary that you need to manage them. So and here in today's world, with MNCs being flooded in many countries and doing business with millions of customers, millions and millions of transactions are going on. So to keep track of all of it is not an easy task, and at the same time you cannot imagine humans doing it because it's not that perfection that they can do that. So you need to take help of machines and softwares, of course. So that's when softwares come in picture. So managing the relationships is necessary, and to do that, big companies like eBay, Amazon, they have got a lot of business with customers, so they can employ people to take care about their business. So they can employ, they have resources, time, energy, money to get a CRM done to their needs by their developers. So that can be easily done. But what if people do not have time sometimes, resources sometimes, and you see mine is just a leather company, leather manufacturers. So I do not know anything about computers or software, that's not my business. So it should not affect my business saying that I should know IT to start a business in leather industry. So I would like to invest in something, a software, I would readily buy it and use it. So in order to buy a software, then you should find out which one suits you best. If you're buying something, yes, you have to go out in the market and find out. Yes, CRM specially is been made or developed by many companies. Like many successful CRMs out there in the market, there are countless, many. The successful ones you find as Siebel, you find SAP CRM, you find MS Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics, you find Clarify, you find Sugar, open source CRM, a lot of others like JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, Pega is also CRM. So
PeopleSoft is also CRM?
Which one?
PeopleSoft?
Yes, PeopleSoft has both ERP and CRM. Yeah. Now it is all Oracle, right? So Oracle, PeopleSoft, whatever.
Like you were mentioning email services, all like social networking, all this using cloud computing?
Of course, yes. Do you install anything to work in your Facebook account?
That means like whatever we are using like in the internet, is that all cloud computing?
Exactly. Everything that uses a browser and internet is just cloud.
Okay.
Yes. Now you can see the world in a different way now. Yes, it is cloud. So we'll see the advantage of cloud also pretty soon.
Okay.
So as I was mentioning, the CRM software particularly. So on the cloud front, there are good CRMs as well. You find CRMs like Salesforce and there's a new joinee, I think. Somebody's kidding. Alright.
Maybe.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'll mute myself so that you will not miss any noise. Okay. Sorry.
No problem. I can do that. I muted everybody. Let me know if you want to speak. And managing the relationships, yes. Salesforce and Oracle On Demand are on the cloud side. On the cloud side, there are pretty many. You just look for online, you find many CRMs out there in the market. Successful ones, if we talk about, there are also quite few successful ones, but these two are closely related, and this is our topic. So, what are the advantages of cloud? If you're fixed in your mind that you would like to buy a touch phone rather than a QWERTY keypad or a normal keypad phone, then you should find the advantages of it. You can eliminate the choice of the rest of the things very easily. So let's see what are the advantages of cloud. First of all, it is independent of software and hardware. Yes, it is independent of software and you don't need any software or a particular hardware. You just need an internet and a browser. It could be a tab, it could be a phone, it could be anything, a PDA or a laptop, desktop, workstation, server, anything. So that is one very good advantage, that users have flexibility to log in from any place and any user can also log in. Second thing is the low cost. Low cost is not for the user but for the implementer, vendor, merchant. So whoever is implementing it, if they are trying to use a client server model, then they have to imagine of setting up several servers located at different places to serve, because servers are huge machines again. So you cannot keep it at one place all the time. So to have a better reliability, you need to duplicate, have the mirrors, all of them, and the infrastructure forces you to I mean, the software forces you to buy with a particular infrastructure, such as go with Pentium 4, or nowadays it's i5 or i3, only with some fixed RAM and all that. So that's actually not fair. Persons who is buying software also have to go for a particular hardware. So that cost will be lesser. Even the real estate cost for setting up a server, electricity bills, a lot of things come into account for implementing or setting up a server. And then you will have multi-tenancy. So this is one big advantage technologically over other CRMs or client server or any other models. Multi-tenancy is implemented. In the best examples that you could see is in online email services like Gmail. Do you really think that Gmail is dedicating separate set of resources for each and individual login? No. That happens in a typical client server model, where client when gives a username and password and authenticates with the server, resources are separately dedicated for such a client and will be remain dedicated until that user session is completed. So that adds up a lot of load on the server. But sharing resources is a concept where in the client server model again, so when the time comes to implement some security, then you need to care about different sessions. But in a multi-tenancy architecture, the advantage is you can share the resources across many sessions. Okay, that's one big advantage. At the same time, the security and performance will be much faster because it's the same session kind of thing that in the overall finding. It's not multiple sessions here. So multi-tenancy, the word comes in analogy with when you have different apartments located in different parts of the city. Then if you have to provide security for all of them, or you have to go to them or give an update, then it becomes hard. But if they're all located in the same building in different apartments, it becomes very easy to maintain it performance-wise as well as security-wise. So these are the advantages for the multi-tenancy architecture compared to a normal architecture. Apart from that, the biggest advantage is maintenance. What is the big advantage in maintenance? Yes, maintenance is always a pain if it's a client server model. If there is a patch or if there is an upgrade, if there is an entire new version, then you have to implement that in every machine it is related to, and any miss of it will lead to serious problems, and everybody has to be attentive, alert, all this stuff. So, but in cloud, you don't really know when it happened and what happened. Tomorrow you log into Yahoo or Gmail, you find everything totally new. So that changes taken place are completely not in awareness of the user at all. So such kind of maintenance is what a vendor looks like, pretty much done in pretty short time. So these are the advantages of cloud over other competing models, which leads any person to go for a cloud service rather than a client server service. So having got these advantages, we just find out Salesforce and Oracle On Demand, both of them are providing CRM services or CRM tools, I can call it as. So by now you should have clear understanding about cloud, about CRM and about Salesforce. So we can clearly, without any doubt, and make a statement called Salesforce is a CRM product built on cloud computing. This is what we can clearly make, isn't it? Salesforce is one of such CRMs products. There are many CRM products out in the market, okay, cloud or client server or anything, very many out in the market. But Salesforce is one among them. And there are many softwares based on cloud. They are like email services, e-commerce, banking. These are all softwares. You log into it, and a lot of applications. You click here, it will happen something. If you click there, it will happen. There are buttons, there are hyperlinks, there are actions to do there. So all of that is actually software online. So that Salesforce is one among it. Okay, Salesforce is just one CRM product built on cloud computing model. So this is clear, right? So how we select Salesforce from Oracle OnineTraining? So let's talk a little bit about the architecture of Salesforce or cloud in detail. First thing we needed to understand is you have user at one end, and he or she uses an application which is built on some platform and stored or located on some infrastructure. On the other side you find a server. So this is a simple architecture. So users, whoever uses doesn't know anything of it. So what they see is just a simple application. So if someone is providing such application, a banking, personal banking online or e-commerce online, you just authenticate yourself and log in. That is like software as a service. And then platform. You can also see some of the vendors are providing platform for you directly, like Google Sites, WordPress. Online itself you can build websites. You don't need to install any software for it. So that's also a good advantage. You don't need to install to build something. And infrastructure, yes, everybody provides infrastructure. Google provides 10 GB of space in Gmail. So application side, software as a service, Salesforce provides it, yes. Platform also, Salesforce gives you directly that you can code yourself or modify the Salesforce application it provides you. Of course, infrastructure is there. Oracle On Demand, you will get software, but platform no, infrastructure yes. Oracle guys say you don't have to do anything, give the requirement to us, we'll do it for you. So that's actually a laborious process. It's not that easy. And the time consuming, at the same time the charges they incur every time they modify something is not really that friendly. Salesforce on the other hand, you just can employ one Java developer or anybody on who space concepts, and then you can make it work. Salesforce. So that's the main difference between Salesforce and Oracle On Demand. So talking about Salesforce as we come this far, so let's see what we would learn in Salesforce. In Salesforce, we pick two domains are there: admin and developer. Admin has Visual Force again and Apex included. Sorry, developer. So admin here is a subject or area where you will set up or configure the application to user needs. Set up or configure the application to user needs, basically. So you will actually create users, create objects, fields, layouts, profiles, organization setup, so all the wizard kind of things. You don't need any software here. And on the other hand, developer might have to sometimes involve in coding. Visual Force is creating new pages. This is about creating new pages to show your new content or the old content in a different way. So this is all about creating new pages, Visual Force. So in order to do that, you might need some HTML, CSS, maybe some JavaScript knowledge or Ajax knowledge. You don't have to be an expert in it. Knowledge is enough. And Apex, on the other front is to extend the features of Salesforce. So you might have to, not all, Salesforce is not prepared or built for a single company. So it is a product which is built for everybody. So you might have to resort sometimes to code and convert it to your needs as well as to extend its current features. It might not have some of your business needs. So you might have to write, hard code it and then build those features in Salesforce. So for which you needed some Java or core Java is also enough, and OOPS-based knowledge is also enough to start with. So this admin and developer together is our course, which would last for 30 to 35 hours. Okay, and we're gonna take like 3 to 4 weeks of time to finish this, and throughout the course, what we'll have is we'll have all the practicals. It's all about practicals. Theory will also be there. We will show that in practicals again. 2 apps will be given through the entire course for your practice, and those are very much real-time apps. So by the time you complete both the apps, the first one will be lighter version. The second one is a bit more complex. So once you finish those apps, so it will be like more or less equivalent to a 2-year or 1.5 year in terms of Okay. That's in short about what I would like to tell you to give you a clear idea about cloud, CRM and Salesforce, and at the same time explain you what you're going to learn in the course session. Right. So clear on Narayana? Are you following? Can you hear me?
It is muted. It is muted, I think.
No, it is not.
I'm able to hear.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. It is clear, but one question I have is, like this CRM, it is in the cloud, and is it a security-wise a bit problem or?
Yes, we can be as a security threat will always be there for any cloud mechanism. It's not just Salesforce or CRM. Because once it is online, there might be a good hacker somewhere sitting, doing his job. But Salesforce has taken a lot of measures, and its security is almost unbreakable. So it records at the IP level, and lots and lots of alerts. Unless an employee helps for a hacker, it's not that easy to crack it. So we're going to see its security mechanism as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But at the same time, we cannot say it is 100% safe.
Yep.
In fact, for that matter, you can say the client server model is also not 100% safe. Right? If they want to leak, they can leak. But if they're an intranet, it's a different issue that they're not in touch with. But today, HTTPS and encryption techniques will help you really long way. It's not that easy to crack anything.
So that SAP, Siebel, they are not in the cloud?
They are not cloud. They are client server. You need to install software. They are software driven.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're clear on what a cloud is, what a CRM, what a Salesforce is?
Yes, yes.
Good. So
and how much time will be spending for Apex, that language?
Apex, it is not like time or something. What I can do is I can give you the topics what we're going to cover individually, item wise. So you ask me precisely what the time we're going to spend, because FX is not a one-go thing, it appears here and there every place. You cannot collect the timing from here and there. Anyway, you can see admin takes nearly half or near half, and then the rest of the half is developer part.
Yeah. So total duration will be 2 months or what?
Yeah, 30. Okay. Any more questions?
No, total duration is 30 for admin, 30 for development or what?
No, the total.
Okay.
Yeah, it's total.
Okay.